Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and thank you for spending some time with me today because we are talking about what I see as being some of the biggest trends of 2026, where I think design is headed. Everybody's making these videos right now, but you all know, if you've been here for a while, that I always know what's on the rise. And before we get into the video, I'd appreciate if you took a moment and hit the subscribe button and gave this video a like to help this video get shared across the platform so everybody knows what's the tea for 2026. Now, the first trend, one of the biggest things we have to talk about, we always start these videos with architectural styles and what I see on the rise and happening. I see people doing homes, like I'm following quite a few people who are doing new builds of homes that are either in the colonial style or in Tudor styles. And that doesn't mean it has to be ultra traditional closed concept, right? Nobody is saying the open concept home is going anywhere. Like, I'm literally working with a whole bunch of clients right now who have open concept homes, who are buying new open concept homes. So whatever works for you floor plan wise, that's up to you. But I see a resurgence of more traditional architectural styles. And then what you do on the interior of those is a little bit of a mix of something traditional, something modern, because of some of the trending styles we have going on right now. Those trending styles are going to be like the Nancy Meyers style, like Ralph Lauren inspired interiors. Those interior styles are just very comfortable. They're very accessible because of where things are right now in terms of basically consumerism. A lot of people are just tired of buying a lot of new, so they're thrifting and they're upcycling and they're looking to have furniture reupholstered rather than buy everything new, which I think is great, but a lot of that leans more traditional. So you see that influence happening, not to say that modern homes are out or going away, because they're not, but we are going to see more people either buying and renovating older homes that are in these colonial Georgian Tudor styles, or you're going to see a lot of people who are new building homes that have more of a classic influence, because people are turning away from some of the more viral and fast moving trends into something that's a little bit more timeless. Another trend you are going to see on the rise in 2026 that I see when I'm looking at what's new and what's happening is actually going to be some Spanish references to accessories. And basically I mean wrought iron. People love wrought iron. It's a great material. It's beautiful. And it also has a reference to the Tudor design. Like a lot of Tudor homes you see in the Midwest, for example, will have iron details in them. You know, like you'll have iron details, like accents on a front door, around a window. Maybe it has an iron handrail system on a staircase. Those sorts of details lean a little bit Spanish because of the material, but you're going to see more candelabras, candlesticks in this material. You might also see sconces with some of these wrought iron details, curved little moments on them. That all feels a little bit Spanish to me. So incorporating a little bit of that in is interesting. And so we've always liked a Spanish reference in homes, right? You look at like a Tuscan and Mediterranean design, right? There's also always a little bit of Spanish detail in those. And we've been loving arches for a little while. I personally haven't been maybe the biggest arch fan because I don't like the like clean, simple like arch doorway. It's not my favorite thing. I would much rather see an eyebrow arch because that's a little more timeless to me. But a lot of the designers online love to be like, eyebrow arches are out, when they've literally been around for centuries. So like, okay. But I love an eyebrow arch that can have a little bit more of that colonial reference, a little bit more of a Tudor reference. You're also going to see a Spanish reference in as far as wall textures go. I see a return of the knockdown wall texture, which kind of looks like it's troweled on, coming in our future because people like Venetian plaster but can't necessarily get that into the budget. They like Roman clay. They like those sorts of wall textures where knockdown is very similar to that. So look out for some of those details in your space because Spanish design is great. It has a casual air about it that feels accessible and approachable and actually livable. Now, if you are decorating your house, you're designing it, you're trying to come up with the answers, whether it's a renovation, a new build, or just a small makeover, I've got the answers for you. Be sure you book a one-on-one virtual consultation with me where you can show me around your home and I can answer some of those difficult questions for you. Be sure you book that using the link in the description box down below, or type into your little browser intro.co/GarrettLeChic. And if you're lucky, Arden might pop in to say hello, won't you? Or maybe not. Okay, you can go lay down there. That's cute. When it comes to interior trends, people always want to know what's happening in kitchens, and the top kitchen trend of 2026 is going to remain quartzite. And people just like quartzite. You get sort of the look and the feel of marble in terms of the veining. Like there's a lot of veining and not so much speckling. Speckling is more of a granite thing, as where veining is more of a marble thing. You get the best of both worlds because quartzite is more durable than marble, but it has a better like veining pattern on it than granite does. With that said, I am currently working with clients who are doing marble, who are doing granite, and who are doing quartz. So none of those are going anywhere. And if you have them, don't think you need to rip it out. Figure out what color scheme is going to work best with that material. Maybe it enhances it, and that kind of gets you to the place where it feels a little bit better. And I'm talking about granite. Like marble isn't so much a problem, neither is the quartz, but a lot of people think granite is dated. I don't agree. I think granite is great, and there are some variations of it that are really wonderful, and my clients still want that in their homes. But quartzite is going to kind of be like the king of countertops. I think we're also getting away from the slab backsplash a little bit. Not that that makes me happy because I love a slab backsplash, but I think a lot of people are over the whole like marble veining and everything, and it being like so, you know, like kind of a lot, that they're like, hey, I would rather do tile. I always recommend that you work within the color scheme of the countertop and bring that onto the backsplash so it just has a lot of flow there. It's not like an accent backsplash that could feel dated very quickly. Now that we talked about kitchens, let's talk about the design trends I'm seeing in 2026 for bathrooms. And I'm also going to lump in utility rooms as a part of this, because one of the biggest trends I think we are going to see in these spaces are going to be unique shaped tiles and tile patterns. We're kind of done with like a basic square tile, or, you know, like a big 12 by 24 tile. Like, okay, fine, you know, it's simple. Like, do it in a brick pattern. Like, there's not much there to it. I'm seeing people do interesting patterns with, you know, almost like subway sized tiles. They're, you know, maybe doing a grid, almost like a parquet style grid, which is interesting to me. And one of the things I saw recently that I really loved was a star shaped tile. And I thought that's really cool. That's where you're going to see people going into the future, like interesting patterns on tiles, interesting shaped tiles to make up these spaces. Instead of it being like, oh, it has to be the most high-end, ultra luxury marble floor, it's now going to be more interesting patterns in those floors, which I think is cool. Whether you're doing a natural stone or not, look for a tile with an interesting shape or an interesting pattern to do something unique with in your space to add some real personality to it, but maybe you do that in a slightly more neutral way. Let's talk about hardware. Hardware is always a big deal in interior design, right? Like the hardware is the jewelry of the space, and I love a good piece of jewelry. So hardware for 2026, what I am seeing is that the unlacquered brass trend, I think people are starting to realize what I said about it the whole time, that like, I'm not spending the rest of my life polishing metal. So everybody is moving towards these finishes on metal that are not going to change. And I like that. So the number one thing I am seeing, and you would know this if you were here for a while, that I'm not gonna be all over the place like polishing all sorts of metal in my home. Just, it would never happen. If you're a subscriber, you know it. And if you're not a subscriber, now you know, and you can rectify that mistake. But the number one trend in hardware I am seeing right now is aged brass, a faux finished aged brass. And by a faux finish, I mean the brass, it's like brass, okay? The brass is like brass. No, it's just brass that has a ager applied to it and then is lacquered over. That gives you, like, it prevents it from aging further. And so it stays looking how it is. Aged brass is great because it gets the character and the warmth that unlacquered brass has, but then you don't have to polish it back to shiny brass to then let it age again. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I think it's great. So aged brass is one thing, and then mixed with wrought iron details. Wrought iron is not just black hardware. It has a texture to it, and there's a dimension to it that you don't get with just like a powder coated black hardware. So I don't think we're going in that direction. I think it's going to be authentic, noble materials, but you're going to see a finish on the brass so people don't have to constantly be taking care of it. I mean, just imagine you live in a house, you have dogs, dogs and kids and, you know, you're entertaining and you're doing this and you're traveling and you're going out to places, who has time to keep up with all of that maintenance? And even if you are one of the few lucky ones that have a housekeeper, well, you're paying for their time. Would you rather them spend that time doing something meaningful, cleaning the floors, taking care of the countertops, like actually making your life easier, or spend it on polishing metal that like is just gonna have to be redone again anyway? I don't think so. Not for me. I'm not the one. Maybe it's for you. And I love that for you. Invite me over. One of my favorite trends to talk about are wood tones because they really define a space for me, and I love wood, and wood is not going anywhere in 2026, right? Like a lot of times people are like, painted kitchens are in. No, we're still on the like wood kitchen trend, and I love that. But right now I am seeing people turn away from white oak. And I love white oak. It's not going anywhere. It's not outdated. It's a little oversaturated at this point. So people are moving away from that really, really light whitewashed white oak that we've been seeing for a while. And they're gravitating towards something that has a little bit more depth and dimension to it. And I'm happy about that. So if you're looking for cabinetry in your kitchen or floors in your home, let's talk about finishes that have a little bit of a neutral undertone, okay? I don't want something that's yellow, I don't want something that's red, I want very neutral, but we want something that has a little bit, almost of an ashier finish that feels a little lighter. But what I'm also seeing is a mix of two different things together. So you might have a white oak floor, right? To bounce a lot of light into the home so it's a little bit brighter and fresher, but then you might have darker cabinetry in a kitchen. That way you have some more dimension. It's not all very like the same thing everywhere. We have a little bit of personality there, even if it's not something like wallpaper or painting the walls pink or orange or whatever. It has some character there. It feels lived in. It feels a little homier. It has warmth to it. That's why wood is so on trend. Now, painted kitchens are going to have a little bit of a trend because of the same thing I'm talking about, where it's like buying an older home that needs a little bit of TLC maybe. When you have like that speckled granite everyone knows about, it tends to look better and newer and less dated when it's on a painted cabinet. So a lot of people are just going to paint kitchens that they already have. And those colors are going to be lighter leaning, not specifically like a bright, crisp white, but they're going to be more like of those mushroomy kind of colors that have a little bit of dimension to them, but are not like super flat. They're going to be those sort of chameleon colors that change in different times of day. So it's hard for me to say like, this is the color of the year. Which, I mean, if you want me to talk about what the color of the year is, we can get into that in another video. Comment down below because I've got some opinions on it, but that's beside the point. But they're going to be more neutral tones that are a little bit more simple, and I'm okay with that. I think that is a very neutral way to go about doing it. But also remember, if you have wood-stained cabinetry, there's always the potential there to refinish it, and that should be looked into first to see if that's possible, if it's doable, and what the cost associated with that is, because that could be a really good way to go. If you have beautiful wood cabinets and you just don't like the color, like refinishing that might be the answer for you, so that we're not just painting over something that's actually really great quality and sacrificing on it. Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and thank you for spending some time with me today, because in this video, we are talking about some 2026 trends that I need to know your opinions on. I want your feedback on, because some of them are out there, some of them nobody saw coming, and some of them I actually like, so I want to hear from you. Now, the first trend we have to talk about. One of the big things I'm noticing, because while I am an interior designer, I am also a consumer of great design and great design content, is that a lot of people are liking opulent moldings. And when I say opulent moldings, I don't mean like they're going and hiring plaster workers to come and create the most gorgeous moldings in their homes. No, they're getting the like styrofoam version of it and putting them into their homes. And the reason a lot of people are doing this is because we love the contrast of historic, beautiful, traditional architecture and modern furniture, right? Like those two things don't go together, so they clash, so they stand out, and so you see both of them in the same space, and it creates something that's beautiful. But the reality is, like, go to a tract builder and ask him to put in these moldings in your home and watch him laugh in your face, because we just don't make this sort of thing today. And so a lot of people are getting these alternatives, as sort of more affordable, more accessible, actually doable versions of this trim, and putting it into their home. And a lot of these have, you know, preset corner moldings, which if you've ever installed crown molding in a home in your life, if you've ever watched someone do it, it is the most diabolical thing ever, because it's like you have to cut it upside down and backwards to get the correct angle for it, and your house is not perfectly square, so none of the lines match up anywhere, so you better have a lot of caulk on hand to do it. This is the easier version of that because they're actually like corner blocks that go into it. So it's really cool. And you know me, I love historic architecture. I love historic buildings and all of this in general. So it's actually a trend that I like. And I've been talking to you about molding and trim and applied molding on walls and paneling forever. And so this is something that's in that niche, and I personally enjoy it. Add this, add some great picture molding on a wall, add a gorgeous ceiling medallion into your space, and it's like giving the opulence that I need. And honestly, maybe I'm not impartial because I love to use modern furniture in my home that has more of a traditional architecture to it so that it feels a little bit newer, a little bit brighter and fresher, and then mixing that with the traditional, in my opinion, makes something much more timeless. So I want to hear from you. Share your opinions. Do you think this is a trend that's here to stay, or do you think it's on its way out? Now, something I notice as an interior designer, and I'm not just saying like I'm an interior designer because I have a YouTube channel where I talk about this. I work with clients to design their homes. I went to school for interior design. I'm an interior designer. I don't just comment on other interior designers' work. I don't really think that's appropriate. But what I notice is that my clients are not really into the whole thing we've been doing where everything is light and bright and white and off-white and ethereal and, you know, super soft feeling. They like a space that is more layered and has more dimension to it. And that's just where I think things are gravitating towards. And so a lot of my clients are willing to push the boundaries and add a little something interesting into their space. So if we're using a wallpaper, for example, I can't use a wallpaper and then have everything else be lighter feeling and brighter feeling in the space. I have to layer in something that has even more dimension, that's a little darker or deeper or bigger, like bulkier piece that's more overwhelming, or something that's like a black piece of furniture that's going to ground a space so that it doesn't feel overwhelming or feel too busy and crazy. When it comes to those layered spaces that people are very much liking now, I need a grounding element. And that usually leads the space to feeling even a little heavier and a little darker. That's where I see a lot of trends taking place right now, is people are gravitating away from these just purely light and bright spaces that are nice, but they feel a little impersonal sometimes, in favoring more of these spaces that show off a bit of their personality or some of the things they like. It does take a very keen eye to make this work and function well in a space and just feel like the vibes you want it to feel like. So if you are going for a layered space, I like to work with a tonal color scheme. So if we choose a wallpaper, we're gonna choose one of the colors out of that. And if we're working in a space that is maybe just a little bit darker, a little more saturated in tone, I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna say, okay, here's our colors. Like, we need to find a pattern rug or a throw pillow or a fabric or something to bring in that has those tones to tie them together. But what about you? Would you have one of these darker, moodier, more layered spaces in your home? Or are you that person that you're like, no, I like everything to be light and bright? Share with me because I'm interested to know. And while you're sharing with me, take a moment and hit the subscribe button. Or if you are watching from your television, which I know many of you are, you can pull out your phone and scan this QR code here that will take you directly to my channel, where you can then hit the subscribe button and join us. I'd also greatly appreciate if everyone watching could give this video a like and give it a little bit of hype. Now, another trend that I am seeing is actually something interesting we have to have a little conversation about, and I may get some hate for it, may get some pushback, but that is what we're here to do, right? Is furniture in front of windows. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I am a feng shui expert. Okay, I'm not. I have respect for it, but I'm not an expert in it. So that's great. This sometimes goes against feng shui. And I want you to be aware of that. And that's why I'm bringing it up, because furniture in front of windows sometimes can be good and sometimes is bad. So mostly what I'm seeing is either seating in front of windows or vanities and desks in front of windows. And I'm not talking about just a normal window in a house that, you know, has a windowsill and a wall underneath it. I'm talking about a window in a modern contemporary build that is like storefront style glass, floor to ceiling, or in a high-rise building that is floor to ceiling glass, putting furniture in front of it. You block out some of the view, you block out some of the light, but you get something that is very cinematic and it is very interesting. It's a modern feel and take on something. And I think it's actually really cool. I see this and I'm like, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, that's sort of really interesting. And I think it depends on the space, whether this works or not. I mean, you know, if you're going to put a vanity in front of a floor to ceiling window in your home that you're sitting in front of, like, let's hope you wore a long skirt that day. Everybody that approaches is getting a view. Do with that information what you will. But in a high-rise building, maybe it works a little bit better, because I doubt people are peeking in your windows that way, unless they live directly across from you, at which point I guess they are anyway. So what difference does it make? This is something to think about. It is interesting. And I can see the, you know, example of this being good, right? Like, think about it. You're doing your makeup in front of gorgeous natural lighting, and that looks really good. Or you have a desk in front of a window, you're getting surrounded by that natural lighting, like that enhances your mood, right? And so if I'm working, I don't really want to be in like a dark, dim, dingy little corner in some room. I'd rather be somewhere that's light and bright and makes me feel good. The same thing goes for bathroom vanities. I'm also noticing a trend of people doing really modern bathroom vanities in front of windows. And it looks cool. It looks really, really good, but you do lose a little bit of light. And whether you want that or not is a matter of personal opinion that I would like your feedback on. So would you do this? Would you put a piece of furniture like a sofa in front of a window? Would you put a desk or a makeup vanity in front of a window? Would that work in your home? Could you do this in a bathroom? Put your vanity in front of a window. I think it works in a modern application really well. And I see it there easily. Like, that's what a lot of the examples I'm seeing are, because that's just where we are. Whether this works so well in a traditional setting, I don't know. And I'm not just talking about we have a piece of furniture under a window that is, you know, a little bit higher and set up. Like, that's normal, that's expected. But I mean a big oversized window where you can see the back of a piece of furniture through the glass of the window. Could you do that in your home? Would you do that? Have you done it? Share with me, because I want to hear from you. There's another big trend this year that I am very excited about and I'm loving and I'm working with some clients to do. And that is all about powder rooms. And actually, we have to, a couple of things we have to talk about here. Now, the number one trend I'm seeing in powder rooms are marble vanities. And that's not anything new, right? Like a vanity top in marble, like groundbreaking, right? No, 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 no. No, we're taking it to the next level here. I'm talking about custom vanities made all in marble, whether that's floating or freestanding. And I have got some things to show you here. So let's talk about it. A lot of different ways you can do this. I've seen some where it's like an agate style and it's cut from underneath and it looks really free-formed and organic and cool. We see it where it's just completely blocky and built in. And sometimes these have hidden drawers in them where a piece of marble is affixed to the front of the drawer. And so when you open the drawer, like there's no handles, you have to open it from underneath, or it's like a push latch closure. It's a drawer that comes out covered in marble, stunning and gorgeous. And I really love doing something big and overwhelming and stunning in a powder room. I think that's the place to do it. Go big, throw your personality all over the place. Give me a wallpaper, give me an interesting color. All of these things are cool there, and especially these marble vanities are really great. And I've got a couple of clients I'm working with on powder bathrooms and things we've talked about, but one in particular we're doing something really cool with. And we found a manufacturer, who I'm linking all of this in the description box for you to check out, that has custom made this vanity that is so chic, it's so cool, it's got some traditional references, it's a little modern, there's different takes of inversions and custom stones. You can have it done in like whatever you want, they'll do in custom dimensions as well. And it's really elevated, it's really cool. If you have a space that is modern, that you want to have some interesting detail in, and you want something that looks expensive and luxurious, this is the way to go about doing it. You don't have to go crazy with the wallpaper. You can, and I love that, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's about soft, muted, neutral tones and incredible details. And that's what this is. And I'm seeing this more and more and more on social media. Now, a lot of these vanities are inspired by more traditional styles of vanities, and that is cool too, and you can certainly do that. Find like a vintage or an antique porcelain vanity, that's really great. A console vanity is stunning, and these are originally traditional, right? They're made to support like a porcelain sink with a base on it, but now we're seeing them that have like a marble top on them. Those things are really cool, very modern feeling, and can look stunning in a bathroom. So don't think that you have to go for that traditional like cabinet style vanity in a bathroom. There's so many cool, unique, beautiful, gorgeous, interesting things you could put into a bathroom without having to gut everything out, without having to do every finish in an ultra high-end material. This can be very, very modern and luxurious looking and feeling using a really nice, interesting, whether it's a custom made vanity or not. situation like this, I think is beautiful. And what do you think? Could you live with a vanity like this in a powder room? Mind you, none of these really have much storage in them, so I don't know that I would put them into like a primary or secondary bathroom, but like a powder bathroom where it's just some guests stopping by, I could see it. I could do it. And I just might. And this is something I recommend to clients if it fits within the realm of the scope of work we're doing. And if you need a little bit of help, you need, whether it's just a little bit of advice, you need someone to have a look at something, or you need that eye to polish off the space, I've got you covered. You can always book a one-on-one virtual consultation with me where you can show me around your home and I can answer any and all of your design and decorating needs. Be sure you either go to the link in the description box down below or intro.co/GarrettLeChic to book a call with me, and I will see you there. Now, another trend for 2026, and probably one of my favorite because it's actually accessible and approachable for a lot of people. You know, you don't have to have a lot of custom stuff done to do this, are backlit vanity mirrors. And these are actually shoppable in my Amazon storefront. So head to the link in the description box and check it out. But these are so amazing because this is the next level of design. If you like modern, if you want something more minimal, even if you like traditional and you're like, this bathroom is so heavy, or I don't have the space for sconces on either side of a mirror, a backlit mirror might be the answer for you because it just is so luxurious feeling. It looks so expensive, right? This is what's happening in ultra high-end luxury new construction homes. This is what is happening in luxury hotels, right? Like the best top tier, most expensive hotels have these backlit mirrors in the bathrooms because of the way the light cascades on the wall behind the vanity, because you can have a really dark and moody bathroom. You can have a bathroom that has no natural light and this will still look gorgeous in that space, but it's super accessible, right? It's just like a mirror with some lights behind it that gets wired into the existing outlets. Like, cool, there you go. Like anybody could have this installed in their home. I recommend having an electrician do it because I don't mess with electricity, and so I don't recommend you do that either. Have someone professional do it so you don't burn your house down, but that's beside the point. But these backlit mirrors are so next level. They are so stunning. They can take just an average, normal, builder grade bathroom into something that feels very high end, very quickly and very affordably too. And I really like that. There are some of them where the lights are in front of the mirror, like this example right here. That's not my favorite. I really don't like that because it just kind of blows out the lighting and it's too direct because this is LED lighting, so it can be very harsh. I prefer when lights are in the back of the mirror so it's on the wall that you see the light. And it also works if you have a dark bathroom, if you want a really moody space, or if you have a textured finish on a wall, like if you have beautiful tile, gorgeous. I love this. I very much recommend this to clients who don't have the space to have lights on either side of a vanity, or if we're just not really feeling a light above a vanity, like maybe we don't have the ceiling height, maybe we just don't want that, maybe they want a hanging fixture. Great, like let's do a backlit mirror. And you can also find backlit mirrors that are medicine cabinets as well. Also in my Amazon storefront, you know I love a medicine cabinet because the one thing that's going to make your bathroom look high end isn't just the lighting, is not how much you spent on the materials, whether it's marble or not, or porcelain or whatever, is going to be if the surface is clean, if it's like minimal, if it's tidy, if everything is put away where it should be and you have a space for it all and it's not on the countertop. A medicine cabinet is that thing. Get a backlit one and do yourself a favor because these are stunning. This is a great feature and design. In my opinion, I like it, but I do want to hear from you. Do you like the backlit mirror? Do you think it looks as good as I think it does, or am I delusional? Share with me in the comment section down below because I want to hear from you. Well, there you have it, everyone. Thanks for watching and thanks for sharing your opinions with me. I'm gonna go check them out in the comment section right now, so be sure you share before I get there. And also, don't miss out on this video right here, all about the 2026 design trends that are about to explode. You don't want to miss them, and I will see you over there.